Okay, here we go. How to avoid and prevent seasonal flu. So, a pound of an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure,
About 5 pounds.
huh?
So I'm going to hit everybody again where it hurts. No matter what you do, you have to let food be that medicine. You have to start off with giving the body what it needs, because again, the underlying theme we see when it comes to disease, sickness, and illness is diet and nutrition. Is if you provide the body with the things it needs, it can respond. It's able to take care of itself. It's designed to do that. And we have a lot of I guess conditions or environmental factors that prevent that, but we have to really work on it, and especially during the flu season, especially during this time when we know that viruses are going to be replicating and colds and flus are going to be spreading. We have to do as much as we can. So what my recommendation is for is diet. Start off with that, because you can take all the supplements, you can take all of the pills and medication you want, but if your diet, nutrition, digestion is out of balance, it's not really going to help. You're just putting a Band-Aid on a festering problem. So we start off with 75% raw plant-based diet, and I emphasize, I want people to see the raw plant-based diet, because when you go on the internet, you hear about the buzzword right now is go plant-based diet, but plant-based for a lot of people is eating processed plants, or eating plants that are not raw. And raw is where we get the enzymes. One of the major things that we need when we eat food, we're eating for the enzymes, the phytochemicals, and the nutrients. But when you heat that food or when you cook it, you destroy a great majority of the beneficial elements that's in the food that we want. So we want to get that 75% raw. So that means 3/4 of your plate should be the salads, the fruits and vegetables. You can do marinated dishes. You can do slightly sauteed dishes, but you want to be as raw as much as possible. Organic vegetables and fruits. And I say vegetables first, fruits second. Some people, when I say organic fruits and vegetables, they get to the fruit part, but they never address the vegetable part. But you need all of it together to be successful. And organic is only because the chemicals, the pesticides, the herbicides, the fungicides they put on the plants are another deterrent to your immunity being effective or optimal. Your immune system is taking time just addressing the chemicals that's in processed or what I call conventional food, and in rice, beans, and there are a number of starches you can research yourself that you can use when I call carbohydrates, plants, mushrooms, raw nuts, seeds, fermented fruits. But this is basically saying we want a variety of different foods, the legumes, the beans, as a part of our diet. Drinking spring water or purified water. I really advocate people staying away from any tap water or just filtered water these days, because even when they filter water, they don't filter out all the chemicals in the water. The water is one of the most dangerous things we face these days. And water is something that we drink every day, and a certain amount every day. We cook with it, we drink with it. So it is a bigger part is contributing to our toxicity as anything else in our diet. So we have to really consider water when we drink water.
So Mary McCoy has a question on water about alkaline water versus is it helpful or waste of money? I guess it depends on the brand. Someone has done some, we had a patient that actually went and bought a lot of alkaline water off the shelf and did her own pH testing and saw that most of them were not alkaline. So I guess it's tricky, and it depends on the brand. What's been your experience?
Well, that is true. I mean, when you buy alkaline water, number one, understand that when water is alkalized and put in a bottle, that the alkalinity only maintains at 7.5 pH or higher, probably about 30 days. So when you buy water and it may have been in warehouse or been in the grocery store more than 30 days, each day that the pH is becoming more acidic. So buying it that way is not the most effective way to buy it. What I do is I really recommend getting your own alkalizer and alkalizing your own water. They're ionizers. There are some we recommended. We've talked about in other shows, and I can share that information with her. The AlkaViva is the one I really recommend because of the quality of the water. Number one, I recommend them because they purify water and remove 97% of all the chemicals out of the water, along with the pharmaceuticals and other medications that most uh, uh, filtering systems don't take out. And then you can get a pH up to 9.5, actually up to 10 on that system. So that's the best way to alkalize. Number two, if you buy the water off the shelf, you might be getting a cleaner water, but you can use things like trace minerals, which is or trace mineral drops to add to the water to increase the alkalinity of water right at that point. But in that case, again, it's better to get a clean water and alkalize yourself that way, or get an alkalizer where you can be sure, because alkalinity increases your pH and which increases your immune function.
So Michael Murphy has a question about distilled water. I've been recommending that with some of my patients because it gets out all the impurities. Now it's poor in minerals, but I guess you can, like you say, add minerals with plants or whatever. But what's been your experience with distilled water?
Well, distilled water, I only recommend it for a period for detoxifying. If you want to clean yourself up that way, you can use distilled water, because distilled water is basically water that is clean, very clean, because they really take all the distillation process takes all of the chemicals out of the water. It takes all the minerals out of the water also. So it doesn't have any ionic charge in the water, and water naturally has a weak ionic charge. And so what you want to do is add that back. Research has shown that when people drink distilled water for a long period of time, what happens is that they drink the water and they collect the urine after people drink the water. They see that the water goes in, there's no minerals. But when they catch the urine from excreting the water, it's loaded with the minerals. So what the water is actually doing, water has to have that ionic charge. It leaches minerals out of your body. So if you were doing it for a long period of time, you need to do a mineral replacement with your magnesium, calcium, and potassium, which are the main ones. Or if you do it for a 2-week period, you can use it as a cleansing. But the most effective water is the spring water, because it has a natural mineralized state that's done is in a natural mineralized state that the earth has determined what it should be. So spring water, that's a high alkaline water, which is a pH of 7.5 or higher is what I like, at least 7.4. If I were going to buy or drink alkaline water, I would be looking for an 8.0, 8.5 pH, around there. The 9 pHs are good, but it's not necessary, because again, we're not trying to change the pH of our body. We're trying to balance out the acidity in our body, because your body is alkaline by design, but it's acidic by function. We function in a way that our bodies become acidic from eating processed food, for eating animal products, for eating a lot of sweets, sugars, and starches. All those things form acidity in your body. They create inflammation. And so the alkaline water is to balance out all the inflammation that's caused by the other part of our diet. Stress increases the acidity in our body, and alkaline water will help balance those things out. So if you're drinking acidic water and you're already acidic, you're not really helping yourself.
Dr. Palmer, you want to say something?
Yeah, I think sometimes we, want a quick answer with the water question. And I know over the years, I've read a lot about water because I had the same questions, spring, purified, alkaline, distilled. And I think the thing to remember is that just like our food, we're saying plant-based or live food, the water is ideally supposed to be live too. So
Absolutely.
distilled water, yes, if you're detoxing for a certain amount of time, but you want live water that is actually going to feed your cells and feed your body. Because so distilled water is technically dead water.
Exactly.
And it will create a problem over time. Like Dr. Atkins said, they check the urine and now it's leached or pulled all of those nutrients out of your body. So, that's, I think, what people have to think about when they're thinking about water is how can I get a water that is still living?
Yes.
And one thing I like to throw in there as a dovetail on that, that's why raw plant foods are very good, because if you're eating lots of raw plant foods, you're eating your water, and that's plant-derived water, and which is going to really be the best form of water you can get. So if you're eating lots of cucumbers and zucchini and lots of fruits that are high water containing foods, but live fruits and vegetables, most of it's going to be like 80-90% water. So you're going to be eating your water, so you want it plant derived. Janelle Williams has a question about coconut water and add lime juice. Who wants to take this?
I'll take it.
We were talking about coconut water this weekend.
Well, I was cracking coconuts today, but anyway.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're out there where they are.
Coconut water is
an
excellent source of alkaline water. You don't really have to add lime juice to it because you understand that coconut water is a nutrient or mineral rich water. You know, they put electrolytes in it, the potassium, magnesium ions. It's the same as what man-made is Gatorade, Powerade, and those power drinks that way with electrolytes. Well, those are added. Those are synthetic chemicals. It tries to alkalize the water because they are alkaline. But with 1 glass or 8 ounces, actually 6 ounces of coconut water, you get the electrolytes equivalent to 4 times the amount of electrolytes in a Powerade is in 1 coconut. So even with coconuts, I take a coconut and I can dilute it half and half, coconut water, and have the electrolyte equivalent to 2 or 3 Gatorades, and it's much healthier because number one, even the Gatorade water is only tap water with nutrients added. It's not purified water. It's not alkaline water. They only put the electrolytes in it, and electrolytes can change the alkalinity, but the water is still not clean. And then they put the artificial colors in there with the blues and the reds and the yellows, and those dyes are known to cause problems when it comes to toxicity, when it comes to attention deficit with kids, when it comes to irritability. I think it has a lot of other effects when it comes to inflammation in your bodies too. So we want to go with the coconut water, dilute it because a lot of times it has quite a bit of sugar in it. And again, although it's sweet and good, but we want to limit our sugar intake also.
Coconut water from a coconut
yes.
is fine, but the ones on the shelf are different.
No. A person would have to you have to go out and get a coconut, crack it, and taste what real coconut water is, or young coconut water, because what they sell on the shelf usually has preservatives in it, and it tastes horrible. I mean, I can't even drink that, so I don't have any recommendations for boxed or bottled or canned coconut water.
Yeah, some of them don't have preservatives, but they've been pasteurized. I mean, there's certain brands that just pure coconut water, but it's been pasteurized to a certain extent. And then you have the young coconuts, the Thai coconuts that has had the green part taken. And my understanding is that these have been preserved in formaldehyde. What do you know about that? Are they always in formaldehyde? Can you get them without formaldehyde? Can you order it without formaldehyde?
Well, some of them they bleach. They put formaldehyde in, and formaldehyde kills the mold that keeps them from going bad, because once they take the green off, within a week to 10 days, they'll start molding. So what they do is bathe them in formaldehyde and send them to you. I'm pretty sure the formaldehyde doesn't penetrate through the shell, through the coconut itself, because it's a quick bath and a rinse. But the most
is it safe to drink that coconut from those coconuts? Is it safe to drink the water from the formaldehyde coconuts?
And I can answer that question. I would shoot for myself, because I would say get the coconuts that are green that you actually have to peel or have them taken off yourself. And that's not, I know it's not practical for most people, but that would be the cleanest way to get the coconut water.
Yeah, we're spending a lot of time on water because it's an important point. A lot of questions come about water because experts are all over the place, and there's not a lot of good studies on water. I mean, we need to have good clinical studies, looking at people, looking at spring water, distilled, coconut, this, that, and the other, and so on, to really show the difference. But in one of these days, we may do it in our clinic. I'm actually thinking about contriving that. But just a couple of the questions on water. I know you got more slides, and just a warning, we're going to go over our usual time. This is a very important topic. Yes. But one thing I want to point out is that notice how we're talking about how you nourish the body, even though the subject is creating an antiviral shield. Now, I just want to kind of highlight that with the audience. But Susan Wady mentioned Pinto Water. And so anybody want to comment on that real quick? I've never heard of Pinto Water, to be honest.
Pinto Water is a water that they've changed the structure of the water. It's called restructured or structured water. It's more of they put 3 water molecules together, and they kind of bind them together that way. And the whole idea of Pinto Water, that it's supposed to be more absorbable by the cell. by your actual cells, so they absorb into your cells much faster than traditional water, and that is probably true. I haven't, and I years ago I actually used Pinto Water, but I don't. From a health standpoint, I don't know if there's any significant difference if you're drinking healthy, clean, structured water like the earth structure. I think it'll be it works just as fine. I can't see any advantage to Pinto Water. The main thing is that people drink the water, drinking clean water. The challenge with water again is the contamination. It's the chemicals in the water. We talked about it when I did the I guess a presentation on water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. But I've been following that. I do have an update because every year I do the Houston Water Report. I do the water report for about 3 cities in the country that kind of use as a point to see what's going on. But one in the South, one in the Midwest, one in the Northeast. But the Houston Water Report, what we see is the forever chemicals in the water is a big problem. That there are chemicals in the water that they have no way to get out, and a lot of those are based on household cleaning products. Even on the chemicals that's in products like Febreze and fabric softeners that get into the water system, but they have no way to remove them. And there are over 3,000 forever chemicals in the water. They call them forever because they're going to forever be there. Once they go in, they don't come out. So that's the bigger problem with water these days, so people have to be able to purify or clean their water, get those chemicals out. And there are some systems that will do that. Any more water questions before I go on?
That hits. The only thing I'm going to throw up is a quick comment by Jack and Left, but this is an easy one to spell. I've encountered YouTube influencers who think eggs, cheese, and fish are part of a plant-based diet. That's not true. So anyway, go ahead.
I had one of the ladies put on here about harmless coconut water, which is a brand.
Yeah.
And I'm familiar with that brand.
No, Williams.
The issue with that is that most of the time it's pink, and I know what it says on the bottle that that means it's good for you. But actual coconut nut water from a coconut is clear, and when it turns pink, that it's on its way out. So that just makes me a little bit more uncomfortable with that.
Yeah, that just shows it's oxidized some. It's set for a while, it can oxidize.
Yeah.
Yes, I've never seen fresh pink coconut water, so you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, again, when it comes to diet, I'm gonna close our diet right here. We want to eliminate the processed food. So if you cut out no flour, no sugar, the bad fats, and no processed or fast foods, you will go a long way into supporting a healthy immune system, because all the things on this page right here tend to strain or degrade the immunity, our immune response. So we want to let all of those things go. Let's talk about the building blocks for optimal immunity. And I researched, but I came to one thing. I wanted to give 1 or 2 magic bullets, but this is one that people may not be familiar with. Some people I know are familiar with it, but it's an antioxidant that's found in our body, that's made by our body. It's called glutathione. And I know people who are into antioxidants are familiar with it, but glutathione is considered the most important molecule to stay healthy and prevent disease. It's considered the mother of all antioxidants, the master detoxifier. And this is just a compound that's in our body, and its whole job is to, as an antioxidant, is to neutralize all the acidity, all of the byproducts from us, our living, our environment, our jobs, what we eat, what we drink, what we breathe. It does that, and glutathione is really the main cog in the whole system. Glutathione keeps our level, is known for keeping levels high for critical immune function and controlling inflammation. And inflammation is the underlying cause of all disease. The earliest sign of a disease process starts with inflammation. A lot of times in medicine, we wait till the inflammation is being able to measure to the point where it's causing a symptom, but the inflammation is always there. So if you test your body for inflammation by doing several tests, Dr. Montgomery, you can share the cardiovascular tests you do for inflammation, whether it's the cardiac CRP and other tests, but those tests are critical in catching a disease process before they develop symptoms. The body's main antioxidant, which is glutathione, protects cells and efficient energy metabolism. Glutathione is produced naturally at all times in the body by a combination of 3 amino acids, cysteine, glycine, and glutamine.
Someone's asking, I'm sorry, someone's asked about deuterium water. I'm going to address that toward the end once you get through that, Barbara Sanders. Just help me remember that.
Okay, I will. The tips in getting glutathione, the primary way we get it is through sulfur-rich foods. That's the garlic, the onion, the cruciferous vegetables, your broccoli, kale, collard, cabbage, cauliflower, and watercress. This is one reason these are so good and so healthy for you, because they help your body produce glutathione. And glutathione is a mechanism that is the workhorse of detoxifying and also balancing our inflammation, alkalinity, acidity balance. Exercise boosts glutathione. So number one, if you want to stay healthy, we want to keep our glutathione levels up. We want to be as glutathione rich as we can. Exercise boosts that. So even when you're eating, exercise is important, not just for building muscles or maintaining muscle mass, but also for immunity. Therefore, we boost our immune system, we improve detoxification, we enhance the body's own antioxidant defenses. You know, a big part of immunity is detoxification, because if you take away the toxins that are in your body, your immune function won't be tied up of things as dealing with things that are basically unnecessary, or what I call self-inflicted by us, eating artificial colors and artificial flavors or preservatives in our food, or eating chemical additives in our food. That ties your immune system up. So when a real serious problem comes along, you don't have an immune response to deal with that. So we want to eliminate those things. Other ways to deal with glutathione, and I'm saying this is what everybody should know to get through the flu season, to get through the summer season, to get through the fall season, to get through a year of optimal health. And for those who are not familiar, there's a supplement called N-Acetyl Cysteine, because glutathione is made up of cysteine, is one of the components that make glutathione up, and our body may not always get enough of that, so you can supplement with this one product. It used to help. N-Acetyl Cysteine was naturally used to help treat asthma, lung diseases, and treat people with liver failure from Tylenol overdose. That's really what it was designed for. But what it does is help it converts into your body to glutathione. Alpha lipoic acid is another thing that helps recycle glutathione. Methylated nutrients like vitamin B6, B12, they also recycle glutathione. Selenium is a natural mineral. We get it in foods. You don't necessarily have to take it as a supplement, because if you're eating cruciferous vegetables, if you're eating root vegetables, should get enough selenium in your diet also. It recycles glutathione. Antioxidants such as vitamin C and vitamin E, the mixed tocopherols, they also recycle glutathione. Everything that we think of when we think of vitamin C and we think of alpha lipoic acid, we think of the minerals. They're also recycling glutathione, because glutathione, again, is the workhorse that's doing the work. Milk thistle used in liver diseases, but what it does is boost the glutathione levels in the liver. So it has a detoxification component, and that's how it helps the liver out, because the liver is a natural organ for detoxification, but it can't do its job if it's lacking glutathione, or glutathione is not effective for the amount of toxicity. We're going to talk about these other natural remedies that I want to cover. I'm going to go through these real quick, and we can finish this part up. And this is just a disclaimer that everybody knows that this is the information we share with people. But again, you should get some good medical advice or medical support. And I emphasize holistic medicine, someone who understands vitamins, minerals, and nutrition to address these issues if you want to use it as a treatment, because everybody is different. So you can't just go stop taking medications or start a treatment on your own if you're not following product labels, if you're not aware of what you're doing. Number one, vitamin C, and people know vitamin C, but understand what vitamin C does. It's one of nature's most powerful and safer antioxidants. It has antioxidant abilities also. We talked about it. It recycles glutathione, but it also enhances immune function. It protects DNA against oxidative damage. when DNA is oxidized or damaged, it can lead to aberrant cells, which we can call tumor or cancerous cells. So it protects against that. Detoxifies various chemicals and drugs. So when you're exposed to chemicals, whether they're airborne chemicals or chemicals in our water or food, the buffer vitamin C has the ability to detoxify, and it's important in wound healing and wound repair. And I give some information on how you take buffer vitamin C and what's important.
Dr. Atkins, real quick, buffered or liposomal?
I prefer buffered vitamin C. Microsomal is good. You said liposomal. Liposomal is good. But with the buffered, especially with the other minerals, the magnesium, calcium, and potassium, it has other benefits. When it comes to elimination, when it comes to detoxifying again.
Okay.
Vitamin C, vitamin C as a liposomal is going to work. It's going to definitely work in the Krebs cycle to recycle the glutathione and the other chemicals to keep them clean and keep them functioning. But when it comes to helping with the elimination, when it comes to help strictly detoxifying, I like the buffered even better.
Mm.
Yeah, we use liposomal to get a higher absorption rate because we can have 10, 15 grams a day.
Yeah.
And it uses it gets across the cell membranes effectively. We do that for our heart failure and cancer patients.
And in those instances, that would be the way to go because when people are based on their diet and lifestyle, when they're in a condition where they're having heart symptoms or GI symptoms, whatever, you need higher doses. You don't need, people will say, well, I take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. But I'm saying 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C, your body will burn it up in 15 minutes, or it will absorb it and it will be gone because it's not nearly enough. You might need 6 to 8 to 10,000 a day. Even with buffer vitamin C, we might recommend doing 6 to 8,000 a day. In the liposomal, you can get much, much more in a smaller dose. So that would be necessary because you're dealing with people who are way behind the 8 ball. Vitamin C supports cardiovascular function by facilitating fat metabolism. And I'm not talking about body fat. I'm talking about the cardiovascular fat, the lipoproteins and everything else that you need to address. A 2004 study found that vitamin C prevents the symptoms such as airway disease, such as cystic fibrosis, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, asthma, and possibly others. A UK study found that patients with normal or high levels of vitamin C in their blood would more likely survive disease or heart problems. A 1992 study showed that people with high vitamin C levels tend to live 6 years longer than people with low levels of vitamin C. So it's not that vitamin C makes you live longer, but the lack of vitamin C will kill you early. You'll die early is what I like to look at that as. So there are many reasons that we want to keep our vitamin C levels up. The next vitamin is so important when it comes to immunity and health and getting through this flu season is vitamin D. 25-hydroxyvitamin D is considered the most useful vitamin when it comes to overall health because of its action on bone health and immune modulation. And some people call vitamin D not just a vitamin, they consider it a hormone because it has hormone-like activity in the body. It does so much, and that's a discussion for another day, but it is absolutely essential when it comes to optimal health. Sources of vitamin D we all know is sun exposure. That's the best source, 15 to 30 minutes per day, early morning, late afternoon sun, usually not direct sunlight in midday. And then there are sources, nutritional yeast, mushrooms, wheat germs. I have fatty fish and fish oils on here, but today we can't trust fish because of the contamination of our waters. The biggest report I'm working on right now is the microplastics that we find in fish, in the fish industry. So people who want to use fish as a healthy option to meat, you really have to reconsider that because it is getting to be more toxic and more deadly because the microplastics in the fish is a huge problem. And then other source of vitamin D is a supplementation by taking a vitamin D supplement. Latest research shows that 1,25-hydroxyvitamin D deficiency is linked to conditions such as depression, back pain, cancer, both insulin resistance and preeclampsia in pregnancy, impaired immune function, and macular degeneration. So if you want to throw it off any of these conditions, you make sure that you're getting your adequate amount of vitamin D. in a preventative program, at least 5,000 IU per day with meals is recommended, and you want to make sure you eat it with food. It's fat soluble, so it dissolves better with food when you eat good oils, avocado, grapeseed oil, olive oil. If you have some exposures to viruses or have some health challenges, you can do up to 10,000 a day, at least for the first 7 days, and then continue to 5,000. You want to ramp up your immune system by taking a higher dose. But the most important thing is you want your doctor to check your vitamin D levels. Usually every 4 to 6 weeks. We usually check about every 90 days. And the normal range is from 30 to 100. Optimally, you want your vitamin D levels between 60 and 80. In a pandemic situation, we always say 70, 80. The higher, the better. You don't necessarily want to get up to 100, but if you're definitely above that 60 to 70 range, what the research has shown is that people who have a vitamin D level of 70 or higher have a 5 times decreased risk of contracting COVID. So if people want to prevent the COVID, make sure your vitamin D levels are up to that 70 or higher, because that's what the research showed, and that's what they've been using it for. So, point of information. Liquid Advantage Concentrate. It's a natural broad spectrum antibacterial that's effective in killing salmonella, strep, E. coli, staph, candida, herpes, influenza, cholera, parasites, and fungus. So it kills the flu virus, but flu is also influenza. It's been shown to be effective against over 800 different bacterial and viral strands, 100 different fungal strands. But it's really a grapefruit seed extract. It's not grapefruit. It doesn't have any grapefruit in it, but it's an extract that comes out of the seed of a grapefruit. It has some citrus seed extract in it. The extract that comes from green tea, and also the extracts from another tea.
Can you take it if you're allergic to grapefruit?
What's that?
Can you take it if you're allergic to grapefruit?
I tell people to check. So far, we haven't had any people. The most challenge we get are people who are on a medication who are not allowed to take grapefruit. But we found out that we talked to the company, it has absolutely no grapefruit protein in it. It's only an extract that comes out of the seed of the grapefruit. So since it doesn't have actual grapefruit protein, I don't think people have a sensitivity. But again, that's something that needs to be monitored. And you could do a test by putting a drop on your skin or on water and see how you react to it first. And so this is an excellent option for antiviral protection. Again, another one that people don't really consider, but olive leaf extract. It's a natural antimicrobial that helps. It's effective against viruses, bacteria, and many types of fungal parasites. How the olive leaf, it has the ability to disrupt the reproductive cycle of a virus. So if you have olive leaf on board in your body, especially during the flu season, you can disrupt viruses from replicating. If viruses don't replicate and can't reach a certain viral load, you don't get sick. So we want to make sure we have a product like olive leaf to prevent viral replication. It also plays a significant role in strengthening the immune system. And this is this one particular one we recommend is only because it's a higher dose. Some of the over-the-counter olive leaves is only maybe 200 milligrams or 300 milligrams. This is 680 milligrams, and you need at least 2 capsules a day for prevention, and 4 capsules twice a day for if you have symptoms, and you can turn those things around. And these are things we can get normally to help. Now, if a person has symptoms, flu symptoms, if you start having runny nose or you start having body aches and pains, and people are familiar with the elderberry is a good remedy because it's been shown through a study that it can reduce the length of flu symptoms and also improve the symptoms. It helps reduce the severity and the length of influenza and colds. Antioxidant support because it's rich in vitamin C and polyphenols. It supports a healthy immune system. And they found that they did a study that shows that it can reduce flu symptoms from that normally would be 7 to 8 days down to 2 to 4 days. And so for people who are suffering from flu, that's a benefit. Oscillococcinum is another product it's a homeopathic product, but you can buy it over the counter. They have it at CVS and Walgreens and many stores. But it's a homeopathic, but it's designed. You only take this product if you have flu symptoms, like you feel run down, headache, body aches, chills, fever. But as soon as you have those symptoms, as soon as you first experience, you want to start this product. It has clinical studies that show also that it helps reduce the severity and the duration of flu-like symptoms. Usually when people took this within 24 hours of onset of symptoms, nearly 63% of people showed improvement or complete resolution in 48 hours. So it really heads off the viral effects of flu virus. And then many people are familiar with zinc. Zinc is an essential mineral. It's only a mineral that we get in our diet. There are many places you get it for, especially in beans, legumes, a lot of root vegetables, or you can supplement with it. But what zinc does is it's found in every cell in the body. So if we don't have enough zinc on board, then our cells are going to be lacking and something is not being working properly. Stimulates the activity of over 100 different enzymes in the body. Detoxifies lead, mercury, and cadmium. Lead, mercury, and cadmium are three toxic minerals that really severely weakens immunity. And when they are on board in your body, then your immune system is going to be at a big disadvantage. So by detoxifying those metals out of your body, and you get that from secondhand smoke, you get it from smoke from exhaust from cars and from industry, cigarette smoke. And these are things we don't really think about because, well, I don't have any lead or mercury or cadmium, but if you drive your car on the freeway and you have your windows down, believe me, you have plenty. Maintains healthy immune system. That's what zinc is for. Helps maintain taste, smell, and sight. So, and we know people who use they use a nasal zinc sprays or the zinc lozenges, but it helps you recover faster from viral infections. Reduces cold, synthesizes DNA, accelerates wound healing. Zeolite is one I want to really talk about. It's a powder. It's a crystalline powder, again, a mineral powder. And what it does, it removes heavy metals, which again supports healthy immune system. Number two, it has antiviral activity also because it actually traps pre-viral components. So when viruses are trying to replicate, it actually can trap and capture those viral components. And it doesn't just address type A or type B flu viruses. It also, any herpes virus, influenza, hepatitis viruses, it doesn't matter. It doesn't discriminate against viruses. It's effective in cancer prevention because of its effect on stimulated immunity. It binds the toxins, to aflatoxins, to herbicides, and plastics. So you can actually, is a good product for detoxifying. Again, I recommend that you use this under some supervision, a practitioner who's familiar with it and knows how to use the product. Helps balance the immune system, increases energy, well-being, and mental clarity. And finally, in our practice, we do have an antiviral program which incorporates these particular products right here, the olive leaf extract. And understanding that it's not one magic bullet, one pill you can take. Again, we start off with diet to get that correct. And then you can supplement for prevention and in case you do come in contact with people who are infected or with it. And I have to say, when it comes to viruses, that, we talked about one sneeze can produce 20,000 droplets of water. And when we sneeze, the water vapor carries viruses. So, there's big controversy about wearing masks, but the mask is not just to prevent viral spread, but it's the water molecules that the mask actually captures that is a barrier. I mean, I'm saying it's not 100% effective. It's not something that you should use if you wear a mask and don't do anything else, or wearing a mask is a solution. But if I'm in an elevator and it's another person behind me sneezes, I'm going to wish I had my mask on at that time because that's the primary way that viruses spread. And during this season, you're you're doing it to protect yourself from other people. Other people may not do it for some other reason, but you're doing it for that reason alone, because this is all about prevention. It's not about getting a virus and having your symptoms being less. It's not about not being hospitalized. It's about not getting the virus at all. It's about prevention and avoiding the virus. So for people who are interested, again, I have to share some information about the book that kind of outlines some of the things I talk about. But this is a link here. Dr. Montgomery, you can put this up if people want to order. Or again, I know you have some of the products in your office also.
Now I'll put a link to this on. It's on Amazon, right?
Yeah, that's it's on the book is on Amazon, and you can order it from a website. And also some of the advanced liquid concentrate. I would let people know that that's not something that you can buy over the counter. It's usually ordered through a practitioner's office. We have it on our office. I know you have it at your office. Also, I always warn people that when you buy supplements, you want to know that you're getting a good quality product. And just because it is a less expensive product, or they have it at a chain store, those are usually the cheapest and less effective products you can buy. So you want to get something that has been tested or has been vetted. That way, you're getting something that works. I talk to so many people who say, I take vitamins, I take vitamin C, and it didn't do anything for me. And when I look at the product they're taking, I see exactly why it didn't do anything, because it's usually full of binders and fillers, or has very little of the active ingredient in it at all. So you want to make sure that you spend your money wisely when you purchase supplements.
So there are a couple of questions regarding giving some of these supplements to kids. I think there was a question about elderberry. Dr. Palmer, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, I recommend elderberry all the time. I'm hearing feedback. I don't know.
Let me turn my speaker down. Sorry about that. How about that?
It's a little bit better, but yeah, I recommend elderberry all the time to patients, and they have kids gummies and powders and syrups now, because elderberry is so popular, as Dr. Atkins was saying. So they have a kids version of it. Elderberry is a plant. They do grow down here. I've seen some. I have a picture of it. They're kind of bitter when you get them raw. So it's the only thing you would have to probably be careful of with using something that's made for adults is the preservatives that are in it. But otherwise, it's a plant. Somebody asked about the advantage also for kids. Yeah. I would think it would just be a matter of figuring out the concentration. I'm pretty sure. These are supplements, so they're not FDA approved and tested in children. But if children are eating hot Takis, I'm sure that they can have some advantage.
Are hot Takis FDA approved?
We do have a recommendation for people. For an adult dose of advantage, it might be 8 to 10 drops in 8 ounces of water. The main thing is that it's a concentrate that you have to dilute it. It's not something you take straight. So the kids dose for 6 and older is usually about half that. So we do 4 to 5 drops for kids, and a younger kid can be 1 to 2 drops if you want to put it in water. The biggest thing with kids taking the 4 to 5 drops is that it has a bitter taste, and so we always recommend that you can put it in a little bit of orange juice, diluted orange juice, or that. And always put it in a citrus juice, not in the apple juice, because if you put in apple juice, the apple juice will taste bitter. But if you put it in a citrus, it usually don't taste it as much. But yeah, it's in the small dosage, it's fine for kids.
So it's great presentation, Dr. Atkins. It's very thorough and very detailed. And I warned the audience we were going to go over the usual hour because it's a very important area. We got stuck on water, which is a very important topic. But what I really want to spell out to the audience is that much of what we talked about is enhancing your body from a nutritional standpoint, whether we talk about the food or micronutrients from the standpoint of micronutrient supplements and the like. But a lot of it, pretty much all of it, is really enhancing your body's well-being, and that's where it starts and that's where it ends. And we didn't talk about there were some things you mentioned have some antiviral properties as some supplements, but most of the things that we talked about are things that fortify your body and fortify your body's immune system. And we can't overemphasize the importance of that, because the stronger you are, the better you're gonna withstand these things. I mean, we can come up with drugs or shots or whatever and say, these things are great, but if you're very sick, I don't care what kind of pharmacological or procedural type thing we're going to recommend. Your body, it's going to be up to your body's immune system to do the job at the end of the day. So it's really important to enhance your health, your well-being, optimal nutrition, key micronutrients, as Dr. Atkins pointed out, fresh air, sunshine, exercise. We talked about on this show how exercise improves mitochondrial function and improves antiviral effects, and so all these things work together. And we're just reemphasizing these things that are very important. So as you move into the flu system, you want to arm your body, arm your immune system with the proper nutrients, so that someone may sneeze and you forget your mask, but your real mask is inside of you. Your real mask is your innate immune system that's not in disarray, that's going to be there to kill whatever pathogen upon entry, and it's going to kill it fast, it's going to kill it effectively, and it's going to turn itself off. So you won't have prolonged illness with fever and headache and malaise and being out for 2 or 3 weeks. So you really want to enhance your immune system first and foremost. And all these other things are important. Washing hands, wearing masks, those things are important, but you need a healthy immune system. That's my take. Any other comments, Dr. Palmer? And then I'll let you have the last word, Dr. Atkins.
I like to think of it, in a way of, if we think about our plants, since we all are kind of growing something. So during the season, when a plant is in season, usually it doesn't have a lot of bugs because it has its own defense system. As the season comes to an end, then it starts to brown, and different bugs come along and eat it and take it away, because that's the life cycle of a plant. It has a point where it's not bothered, and then it has a point where it's dying off for the end of the season. So same thing with our body. We're here in a life cycle, meaning we, have years where we are resistant to a lot. And then as we get older, we are more prone to catching things. It's just that we are exposing ourselves earlier now, because we're doing things that is opening up our immune system and letting things come in that should not naturally come in. And what I mean by that is we are creating an environment that viruses come in early into our system. So if we are keeping our system strong, then the virus won't have anywhere. They're opportunistic, they're parasitic. They won't have anywhere to live. So you may be in a room with everybody in the room having a virus, and if it does not have a place to live in your body, it will not bother you, because your system is such that it won't be successful in creating a home and replicating there. So it's not going to set up shop. So I think we have to think about it in a sense of keeping our system, as we've been saying, such that viruses don't really have any opportunity to set up shop in our bodies.
Yeah, I think that's very on point. Make your body's environment less inviting to the virus. There are too many of us that treat our bodies in such a way that our bodies are like a happy house. They come on in, the lights on, it's nice and warm for you. The environment's just right. Come on in and replicate. Have lots of viral babies. That's we treat our system. The immune system's been put to sleep.
Yeah. So, and one more thing, a lot of us don't understand about when Dr. Atkins was saying about cough, congestion, cold, runny nose, headache, fever. As you said, this is our immune system. So everything that enters through our airway. And most of it, the inflammation starts in the airway. And so that's why we get the cough, congestion, runny nose and all of that. That it doesn't matter what the name of the virus is. It always does that. If the virus gets down, if something gets down in the stomach is either going to vomit or diarrhea. So our body does the same thing every time with every virus. It is cough, congestion, runny nose, fever, headache, or vomiting and diarrhea, depending on what the body is trying to clean. And both of those are cleansing processes. So, we end up doing a lot of things where we want to suppress the cough, or we want to take away the fever, we want to stop the vomiting, or we want to stop the diarrhea. And we kind of are working against our own immune system in doing that.
Gotcha. Great point. Excellent points. Dr. Atkins, you'll have the last word.
Okay. Well, I mean, you and I think y'all said it all. Y'all really covered what I want to say. The only thing I can say is I can put some scripture on it at this point, and I want to tell everybody to be a doer of the word and not just a hearer only. We tend to hear good information, but you have to be proactive. You have to do something. So the whole idea of prevention and wellness is about being proactive. So you hear this, but you have to make some concerted steps or put an effort before every day. You think of the first thing when you get up in the morning, what am I doing for my health today? What am I doing that I know that I need to stop doing to improve my health? So I just want to encourage people to take steps to be proactive, to decide you're going to put together your own or put together some form of prevention program, especially during flu season, because if you can do it through flu season, you can do it through the next season and do it as become a lifestyle of what do I do proactively to stay healthy and well. So I just want to emphasize that to the audience that prevention is the cure. That's my term. Prevention is the cure. It's not the key. It's the cure. So if you want to cure something, it's not about getting it and then trying to get past it. It's about not getting it at all. If you're not getting it all, you are cured.
Wow. I love it. Well, thank you, colleagues and friends. I appreciate this. And again, I really hope everybody, got something out of this. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. We have a lot of great shows coming up. And the first of the year, especially, we got some great stuff. But as we end this year, we're going to be giving you lots of pearls to stay healthy during the holidays. We may talk about certain holiday foods and tips. I'm going to try to bring Chef Babette back and have her give us some holiday food tips in the not too distant future. So I want y'all to stay tuned. Colleagues, I'll see you backstage as I close out. Thank you very much, Dr. Atkins, Dr. Palmer. And as always, I learned a lot, and I hope you learned a lot. And if you did, hit the thumbs up button, hit the like button, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And please share this with lots of people. I think the more people are aware of this, simple yet profound message, the better off we'll all be as a community as we move in through this upcoming viral season of flu season. So it's really important that we take care of ourselves. Optimal health is the key during any season, and especially this season. So we look forward to seeing you next Monday, healthy. And until then, keep it fresh, natural, and live.